The dire situation continues in the besieged Syrian city of Aleppo. The evacuation of East Aleppo has now ground to a halt. Syrian state television is blaming rebels for opening fire on a bus carrying evacuees, while humanitarian groups say the Assad regime has been carrying out massacres. One convoy out of the city has already been turned around and is headed back to the rebel-held enclave. CBS News correspondent Elizabeth Palmer joins us now from London with more on the besieged city and those trying to leave. Elizabeth, do we know exactly why that one convoy was turned back?
Well, not really. It was stopped by a group. Witnesses say the group was one of the Shiite militias, either Iranian or Iraqi. They did have military hardware. They say that there were tanks that blocked the convoy from moving forward. The people were forced to get down. Some of them say they were robbed, and that 3 of the young men with them on the buses were summarily executed. Now, I repeat that we've not been able to verify this. This is what witnesses are saying. And then they were told to get back on the buses, and they were sent back to eastern Aleppo.
As far as the numbers that have been evacuated and where they are being taken, what do we know?
Well, the numbers are all over the place. And any estimate at this moment doesn't count the people who came out early on when there was uncontrolled exodus. But somewhere between 8,000 and 10,000 seems to be a good thumbnail at this moment. The ones who are coming out now are coming out in convoy, either buses or trucks. I should say it's suspended for the moment, but the idea is they will come out in convoy and be taken quite a short distance across the south side of the city, about 3 miles, to where the city becomes the countryside on the west side. And that area is still under the opposition's control. So the buses drive across the front line, in essence, back into rebel territory. And there the people have to get down with whatever they've managed to rescue from their houses, sometimes only what they can carry in a bag or two, to begin a new and very uncertain life. Now, on that side of the line, the rebels are trying to set up campsites. There are humanitarian agencies trying to help with food and blankets and so on. We should remember it's cold now. It's just above freezing at night. And so it's going to be pretty miserable for the thousands of people who are being forced to begin again, having just endured unbearable trauma for many months.
You just mentioned a little of it, but do we know anything more about the people that are still trapped inside of eastern Aleppo?
Well, it's not clear that they're trapped now. I suppose technically they are, because the evacuations have stopped, but there's no aerial assault. They're not sitting under the bombing. They are waiting to find out what's going to happen to them, very worried, very sad, because they're leaving their city and their homes, and they know perfectly well they may never see them again. And they will be, as I mentioned, traumatized. These people have had bombs raining down on themselves, on their children, on their homes for months. So they would be very damaged and weakened and ill and worried about their kids and their injured relatives. It's just miserable.
Yeah, the pictures, the stories coming out of there, just horrifying. One can't even imagine what it would be like to live through it. Elizabeth Palmer in London, thank you.